Hey man, I hope you're doing good. I'm feeling a little sickness creeping up on me, to be honest. I'll try to get more sleep than usual tonight, and let's hope that kills that again. But I actually want to talk about something very important tonight, which is balancing your work and your relationship. This will not be a generic work-life balance video. We'll go deep as usual, and I'll give you some advice on how I balance working 7 days a week on my business and being in a almost 5.5 year relationship. Now, I talk a lot about how being with the right woman, and in general being with a woman that supports you, that empowers you, how that really can lead to a lot more success than if you don't have that, right? And made videos about that already, gave examples of that. Alex Hormozi is a great example. Luke Belmar is another great example. Just people from social media, right? But in every walk of life, you can find these people. And the thing is, though, these people know how to really manage a relationship and their business, their work, their lifestyle in general, how to balance in connotations here, how to balance that. By the way, it's raining a bit, and I've actually bought like a plastic bag that's custom made for the camera to like wrap around it. Let's see how this works. I kind of hope that it starts raining a bit more in a few minutes, because today the whole day it started raining, and then 5 minutes again later the sun was out, and then rain and sun. So I'm hoping it's gonna rain again so I can see whether this works well or not, because I'm kind of tired of filming with the GoPro and the quality being that, yeah, the GoPro quality, right? So anyway, we have these people, Alex Hormozi, Luke Belmar, and they know how to balance their relationship. And over the years, I've learned how to do that more and more and better and better. And I think I have a quite interesting take on this whole balance thing, right? Pretty much from the start of my relationship, almost 5.5 years ago, I communicated quite well to my girl that I'm not the kind of guy who goes to the movies with her on the weekend, or the guy who goes shopping with her or something like that. That's just not who I am. That's never been me. If I spend time with her, that's going to be time, either like quality time just together, like talking, cuddling, intimate time, right? Or time where we spend time in nature, go on a hike, go for a swim, something like that, right? And I've been, yeah, like I said, very clear about that, very clearly communicated that. That's my first advice to you. If you are such a person similar to me, like back then, I got kind of ambitious in school. I was 17 when we got together, last year of school, and I, for the first time in my life, actually wanted to get good grades, so I did that. And even then, I studied 7 days a week. And after school, started my first business, worked 7 days a week, right? That's just kind of who I am at this point in my life. The interesting thing is, it was pretty clear that my work, or back then school, was my priority. But I also sometimes communicated that to her very directly. And actually, I don't recommend that, because it's not very loving to tell her, like, you're not the priority. That's kind of, you know, these like alpha sigma males, whatever, on YouTube, they would give you such advice. Tell her she's not the priority. I don't agree. That's not very loving, and it doesn't lead to a deep long-term relationship. It's just surface level, almost manipulative stuff, because they know, okay, if I tell her this, right, she's gonna start chasing and all that kind of stuff, right? Thing is, it was still clear that this was my priority. I just didn't fully, or I did fully articulate that, which I don't do anymore, right? what I do now when I don't have time for her and I want to focus on work, or I just want to be alone and sit with my thoughts, which also often happens, then I just tell her, you know, there's this thing going on in my head, or I have to get this done, and I wouldn't be able to be fully present with you. Even if I say like, I don't need to get this done today, I could wait until tomorrow. If it's in my head, then I wouldn't be able to be present with her, right? And so I tell her that. Now, the thing is, for people with a more masculine sexual essence, such as me, and most likely you if you're watching this video, it's pretty clear that we only have one priority. People who talk about priorities, that has never worked for me, that concept of like, oh, you have multiple priorities. No, there can be one priority. And the thing is, for the feminine, that works better. Like, you see people with a more feminine sexual essence, they can be on the phone while cooking, while talking to a person in person, right? Like, or while watching TV at the same time. That all works. They're really good at like task switching. Multitasking doesn't exist. You switch between tasks very quickly, right? But they're better at that than people with a more masculine essence. Like, when I'm focused on something and my girl talks to me, I hear those words, but I don't consciously hear what she's saying if I'm focused on something, right? And so I need very clear goals and very clear of a routine to just function well, right? The thing is, if we have that, and if we act like that, or if we kind of communicate like that, right? Like, I don't have time for you right now or something, we also have to do it, because otherwise our girl and everyone else in our life will lose respect for us, including ourselves, right? If we say we're gonna do something, we should stick to our word. And man, I've had another YouTube channel before this where I taught like young men's self-improvement, and so many young guys asked me like, man, I want to start a business, or I want to do my schoolwork well, but my parents just don't respect me, right? Like, my parents, they come into my room every 10 minutes. I've had the same problem in the past. When people do such things, they just don't respect what you're doing, and that's not from them not loving you or something. That's just them seeing that you're not taking it serious. And that doesn't apply to 100% of the cases. Some people are just assholes, to put it quite frankly. But most people aren't. Most people just see, oh, he doesn't respect his time, so I won't either, right? And that also happens in the relationship. Now, the interesting thing is, and I said this earlier, right? I have quite an interesting take on this whole balance thing. Most people say, or many people say, you need to have work-life balance, or work-life-love balance. And then the other half of people says, no, fuck balance. Go 100% in on one thing and fuck everything else. From my quite short but quite intense life, I have learned that both of these things actually are true. It doesn't depend on the person, it depends on the phase of life you're in. A very good example for this is the entrepreneur Sim Evans, as he says it. He has a funny accent if you don't know him. He's, I think, Australian. No, New Zealandish. I don't know, bro. I'm German. English is not my first language. But this guy made YouTube videos a couple years ago on entrepreneurship, and he made a video on monk-like discipline. And this guy fully lived that. He was fully disciplined, right? Fully on his shit. And then last year I saw a picture of him where he was barefoot in like a group of men, barefoot in shorts, a bit chubby, not in his usual physical shape, bit scrubby hair and everything, with a can of beer in his hand. And I was like, wait, that's interesting. This is the monk-like discipline guy. What happened, right? And he still ran a very successful business at that time and still does. And so I did some research and found out, actually this guy, what he did was, he realized he's in a different phase of life now, and what got him to success before won't get him to the next level. And I think that's what we need. We need to figure out in which phase are we right now, and which kind of balance or not balance lifestyle gets us to the next level in our work, in our personal life, in our relationship. That's what you need to figure out for yourself, and that takes some introspection. Now, for myself in this current phase of life I'm in, I know that my relationship cannot fulfill me if I'm not fulfilled by some meaningful work that I'm doing and by making progress towards meaningful goals. If that doesn't happen for me, then I can't be present with my girl. She won't benefit from me spending time with her, and I'll just be all over the place mentally and not be able to, like I said, be present with her, right? And then in general, for everything that I've said, it's extremely helpful to become more mindful, more present, to practice mindfulness. It's also extremely helpful to become healthier, have better energy levels. Because if you work all day and then you could technically focus on your girl now, but you're completely tired, that also doesn't help her, right? That's the thing. And so, at the end of the day, general self-improvement is extremely important to be a good lover, to be a good man for your woman, right? And now I think this video already helped you a lot, but I teach more about all this stuff, how I improved my relationship while getting shit done, and how I took my relationship and my work to the next level, mostly relationship, right? I teach that inside of our community. It's completely free. You can join that if you want. It's a collective of ambitious, mature men who help each other improve their romantic relationships. It's a place where we share our lessons, and right now it's still kinda small. We're like 60, 65 members. The thing is though, we're growing pretty quickly, and right now I'm still able to reply to every single post and comment and everything. So right now you're still getting my direct help with issues you're facing in your relationship. In the future, that likely won't be the case because, like I said, the community is growing very fast and my time right now is very limited. So if you're interested, check that out. It's linked in the description. And one last thing I want to leave you with is realize that this pursuit of finding balance in your relationship and in your life, or maybe not finding balance, right? Depending on which life phase you're in. It's a lifelong process. It's not something that you figure out in 2 days and then it's just figured out for the rest of your life. It's something you have to be conscious about pretty much constantly. That's everything I wanted to say. I hope you're doing well. I wish you all the best. I'll see you inside of our community. Check that out. Link in the description. And yeah, I'll see you soon, man. Bye. Have a good one.